Hello everyone, welcome back to ESL Pro League, the Grand Finals live from Denmark in Odense. It has been absolutely fantastic so far, and we get into a bit of an interesting one now. The sort of seeding decider, really, between SK and Misfits, as they're both tied for that joint first place in Group B. I'm once again joined by Snods as we slowly work our way through. Now, this is going to be actually a bit of an interesting one. So Misfits, they've just upset NIP. They've taken a big win there.
Not the first upset, obviously. What is it now? North, NIP, could it be SK as well, I guess? Will the Cinderella story continue? And obviously, as you said before, both these teams currently have made it out of the group, and it's the battle for the seeding going forward. Imagine if Misfits had the first position there, make it to the semi-finals already.
I know, that would be the ridiculous standpoint as well. We actually have the vetoes to look at to see if that is potentially something that could be shaping up in front of us.
Luke banned out by SK. Fair enough, Misfits are a very drilled team. Imagine they have a fairly scary T-side. I've got to imagine as well as a domestic matchup, these guys would have practiced hours and hours and hours against each other. So there's going to be some slight nuances into the veto, I imagine. Misfits ban out Mirage training, but you can see it for yourselves as well. Inferno taken away by SK. Same goes for Cobblestone. Overpass banned by Misfits. Fair enough, and it leaves us with Cash. So obviously NRG just lost out to SK on Cash. Misfits think they could do better.
Yeah, so Cash being the battlefield for both of those teams. I mean, just off the top of your head, how does that sort of bode for you?
We know how strong the Misfits T-sides are, especially on a map like Cash as well, when it can be drilled. I've actually watched Misfits demos before on this map when they played versus NRG. I believe it was the minor, I can't really remember, but it was one of those matches, and Misfits were very strong on their T. So the problem is it was the CT side that was lacking. But with how this event shaped up, with the confidence they've gained, the relaxation as well off the back of the fact that they have secured the playoff spot, maybe if they go in with ease and they're not quite as tense, maybe the CT side as well could be strong.
Well, let's see as we get into this one. Misfits over on that T side, SK starting off on the CT side as we appear to have them grouped outside for a late round B burst. Early on, the smoke coming in towards A. Sean trying to keep them very much on their toes, and if so, draw off those reserves from the B side towards A. Fur pops him down though, lands the shot through the smoke. This is the catalyst that causes the B play to come through as they now sprint their way in. They get the early entry, the only man that is on the scene. Taco down, site control taken.
And there you have it, 4 versus 4, but the B site is now in favor of Misfits, and this site is so hard to retake as well, unless SK can deny it.
Oh, as they do try and push back through, Devek on the site. Oh, peeks up with the USP. He makes a meal out of them into this round. Sick continues on the damage. Devek for his second. It's all on Fur. He's got a free K, and he is hungry for the ace as he's striking against everyone in front of him. Switches out to his fallen brethren. Sidearms peeked out, but it's going to be Amanek with the Glock. Pops him away. Misfits get the first round.
And the dream continues here for Misfits. They claim the pistol round. Sean Gares, sorry, goes towards A. One of the things I think they were doing was, when they sent those smokes out towards Highway and the flash as well, they were hoping for a mid-push coming out from Fur. As soon as Fur was spotted towards Highway when he shot Sean Gares with the smoke, you saw the instant reply coming from Misfits. They knew there wasn't a push towards middle. They went back towards the B bomb site. Taco gets caught off guard in the middle of the site, nowhere to hide, nowhere to run, and gave up that bomb site. 4 versus 4, and with the Glocks as well, close range. It's so easy to win that after plant position when you have control of that B bomb site with the Glocks.
This is good for the level of energy as well on Misfits. So they're off the back of a hot win against NIP, obviously very down to the wire. They were able to win it out with just, a 2-round difference. It nearly went the full 30 rounds. And we get left in this scenario now where they're amped up. They bounce into action, getting the opening round on the board. If they can continue on here, Snods, play smarts the S, obviously listen to Sean, be characterized and directed by him into going on to win these next 2 rounds and get all 3 off the pistol, they're going to be very happy getting into this matchup against SK.
It's a great start as well for the North American side, starting on the T-half. Fallen, flashed away off the angle towards Vent, and here comes the B-split via Vent from Misfits. But Fallen and Cold Zero got something to say.
Oh, talking about falling, it's everything falling down for Misfits. Cold with 2, Taco with 1, Fallen, the instigator that just blew them away with that opening scout shot. Maybe we gave Misfits a little bit too much there, as SK, they just absolutely demolish them in that response.
They do indeed. I mean, for Misfits as well, usually with their anti-ecos, they're holding, they're playing the defaults, they wait and wait and wait until about a minute 10 on the clock. They'll boost up towards mid. If they have the rifles, they take the long-range duels, take control of mid, and go for the B split or go for the A split. But unfortunately, they made the call in towards the side that was stacked, and now they just walk into the stacked wonderland of that Mac 10 and co from Taco and Cold Zero.
Oh, an easy round coming through. Shazam, the last man left standing. All of that cash being grabbed by Cold. And Taco wanting to try and finish off this final. Remember, Shazam is just trapped towards Sunroom. He's got a deagle in his hand. Essentially, anything that happens here isn't going to amount to too much. He actually does find a headshot, though. Bolts will fall. There's the trade back as we expected. And SK get that following round.
2-1. SK win their force buy. They win versus the force buy of Misfits, and now the money is looking bleak for Misfits. 2,000 across the board. And the odds as well from Betway, 1.44 in favour of SK, 2.6 in favour of Misfits. So fairly substantial in favour of SK. Obviously expecting now, especially because it's cash as well. We just saw them blow NRG out the water 69 on their CT&T side. So the odds are stacked against Misfits going forward, especially now as well after they claimed the pistol. We thought they could run away with the half early on. They've already lost versus the force spike.
Oh, the kills are coming through as Fallen takes down Shazam though. There's the initial one. Obviously the rest of Misfits all trapped together really. The trio of them stuck at mid, huddling together for warmth, and one towards B. That is going to be Sean that is just holding towards close sunroom. They realise that SK, if they do overextend out, go for more of a ridiculous play. Maybe there's potential for them to find a couple of frags, those pistols in close range. But other than that, this is just going to be a standardised round with the SMGs. Build up cash, play it smart, and allow SK to get all three off the back of the reset round.
Precisely. For Misfits, the goal is 2 frags. Try and take out $6,000 to $12,000 worth of investment from SK and try and water down their economy. But apart from that, it seems like they won't get one at all as Cold Zero's low doesn't go for the over-aggressive reface. And eventually, Sean lands the dink, but not quite the frag. So 5 players staying alive for SK. Some frags on the SMGs, but what's important, Jack, is 5 players staying alive, which means they don't have to over-drop or drop anyone for the side of SK, so their money can start to build. And now for Misfits, it all comes down to this buy round. Davidovec back onto the Galil as he wants to invest into some utility. Smoke, flashbang. And it will be just utility really on 3 players here. Second Amanek down, just a smoke. Are Misfits going to go for heavy execution to the first buy round, or will they play more of a default?
I think this is the team that gets affected so much by having low economy as well, because we've seen how vital it is used in the amount of strategies that Sean brings to the table. So being restricted like this really could be even more of an impactful factor.
Fur now boosted up towards the Shroud boost. And with Fallen open towards door as well, what's going to happen is Fallen shoots that up, and then suddenly someone in their main is going to try and trade that frag and peek in. Peeking right to the crosshair of Fur, I imagine.
Oh, Fallen up to his old tricks, goes for the door peek, will find Sick, takes him down, elevated angle for Fur, able to rip his way through them, trying to go big with the Famous as they slowly trickle through into his bomb site. Instead, they're a little bit scared. They just hold, try and play with the timing. Shazam will get the tag. Sean actually responds as well towards Fallen. Now it's more manageable. A 3v3 with so many smokes down, no angles of vision for the side of SK. They have no line of sight, and the T's have encroached upon the bomb site.
3 versus 3 now for SK game. They have the defuse kits, they have the Molotovs to flush out the peaks. Coming out from Misfits as Bolt makes his way onto the side. Sean gets the shot, the AWP goes for the reface, but goes down.
Oh, letting himself down there with the AWP. That could have been an entirely different round if he found success towards Bolts, but Shazam, even though he's low HP, he's still high confidence, takes out Bolts. Tackle will retaliate, and it's all on Amanek. A 1v2 as he slowly pushes through. Tiptoeing up towards the site as he doesn't want to be detected. If he was to go for the elevated angle face, potentially there's a chance. Taco still holding. He needs to find the 1v1 before the rotate and the support comes in. Kills Taco. Doesn't know the location of Cold. It's all a gamble now as he's going to roll the dice and decide what he needs to do. The push is coming in. Cold Zero getting closer and closer towards door. As he can peek round, 10 seconds on the clock, but he gives himself away. Fires off the warning shot. Amanek ready for the peek. There is no reason for Cold to face. He's got no time. He can't win the round. It's over.
Oh. There you have it. Cold Zero now trying to rush for the frag after time and deny any round loss bonus coming in from Amanek. But as the bomb was applied to the timer does exceed, this is the AK. Will be saved into round number 6. And there you have it. 4-1. 3-round advantage now for SK going forward. Cold Zero really showing off the experience and caliber player he really is. Doesn't overface it, doesn't panic when the timer went down and the ticks of the bomb plant went out from Amanek. And it's just going to be Amanek now with the AK. And apart from that, Deagles and CZs across the board for Misfits. SK Gaming running away with the lead.
Amanek. If he goes for the peek here towards Sunroom, Fallen shove a free frag. Actually extends around with utility in his hands as well. So it appears he wanted to go for that smoke. So he's even easier pickings for Fallen. Sick as well, nearly getting the same treatment, Snods.
I think that's scary for Misfits as well as giving up the early ground in this first half. We know that their CT sides aren't quite as strong as their drill T sides. So they really do need the advantage early on. 8 to 7 half of the bare minimum. They get that second half pistol going forward. Otherwise, this could be all in favour of the Brazilians.
Pushing their way in deeply. Fallen still going for these wide swings as he bounds around like a lunatic, shutting them down. Makes a quick meal out of them. Punishes everyone that dares to try and step against him. That is SK getting another round.
So, now we're going to be able to another buy round. What's the cool and what's the game plan going to be from the likes of Misfits? Usually on Cash, we like to see, or we usually do see, contact A plays, heavy executions towards the A site. They do favor this A bomb site. Watching the games back as well, I saw a lot of Shazam going for the counter play towards A main. Once he clears out quad, once he clears out default and MBK and whatnot, they molly out the site and they hit that site with the execution. Or they can go for the fast boost over mid and try and challenge the Angels against SK Gaming.
Talking about a challenging play here. First, straight in, playing with a smoke. He's got a lot of timing to work with, but if he plays his cards right, this can be so major as he does find that kill. That's fantastic stuff, Snods. He's able to get out of there scot-free as well. There's no trade back from Misfits. It put SK into so much more of a manageable scenario into this round now.
And he's able to go for that play as well with the Molotov from Code Zero towards Boost. You can see the teamwork really chiming in from SK Gaming, allowing the aggressive plays to really come to fruition.
They're going to extinguish the Molotov that came in to actually try and force him out of that power play position as well, as he just holds close towards close sandbags. Fur coming in with the M4, does unload on towards Sean. Devadevek going to be able to double it up. As his teammates start to get executed though, Fallen peeking with the AWP, knows Devadevek has dropped off. They know his location. Cold is the one hunting him down. You can see him snarling as he gets closer, hungry to bite down like the beast he is, but he's going to be executed. HG comes rolling through, Devadevek will be finished off. Shazam in a 1v2. Bomb out of his control, not easily obtainable. Nearly finds that frag as well. Fallen trying to go for the jump face out, and Bolts is just playing on the close angle. If they draw him in, Bolt should be able to shut him down.
1 versus 2 now. Bolt's going to go for the face. Shazam onto near full HP. But Fallen changes angle. Actually sees the gun barrel, goes for the wide face from sandbags, and we'll find that final frag as Shazam is silenced as it goes 6-1, and Misfits. Have they already accomplished enough already in this group, making it out into the quarterfinals of the bare minimum? Is it now SK's turf once it reaches this playoff position, playing for the seedings going forward, and also that potential playoff into the semi-final spot as well, with the first position into Group B. But it will be the quasi buy coming out from Misfits. 3 sets of Kevlar utility as well, and looks like potentially in a fast A burst as they are grouping in towards A main. Good grenade from Bolt. Doesn't actually connect as much damage as expected.
Yeah, if it would have bounced off the wall there, could have done an awful lot more damage towards Devadevek and co, but actually did fall short, unfortunately. Looked like it would have been useful, as this push is grouping up towards the A site.
Smokes out of Devadevek and Sick, so they can smoke out highway, even smoke quad and flush through the smoke if they will try to jump through it and isolate Bolts. But let's see what happens.
Charging straight through. Fur's actually isolated right now. He can't really peek efficiently. Bolts as well getting swarmed, but they peek one by one. They just peek into the spam as well. Finally, Fur can peek once again as he works through the back of the smoke. All the kills are coming up SK, and it's only Sean left. He tries to get the bomb plant off. Fur comes in, makes quick work of him, and that is going to be a 7-1 scoreline as SK continue on. Dominant stuff on their CT half so far.
Double AWP set up now from SK onto Cold Zero and Fallen. Most likely going to be 1 AWP towards mid, 1 AWP towards B. How are Misfits going to try and counter that? What they could try and do is go for a B split, hold off for a default, take control of middle obviously, smoke out connector, molly out towards highway, can molly out the close points as well, molly out vent. We saw in the last game versus NRG, Cold Zero was lurking in that vent position so often. And if they can take control of middle, where is Fallen going to rotate? Because that really depicts as to what site you want to hit. If you know Fallen's rotated in towards connector, gone back towards car, then the A split could work if you go for the right flashbangs. If you know Fallen rotates in towards the A site, holds for the highway cross towards connector, that leaves vents vulnerable, and therefore the B site a much easier site to try and capitalize off of if you are the T's. So it all depends on what they see. What I'd like to see is a default, depending on where the AWPs and how the round really shapes up, depending on what happens towards mid. Go for the B split or the A split. But in my eyes, Misfits should be aiming to take control of mid.
Let's see if they will take any of that advice, Nods, or how they are actually going to adapt their playstyle on this T side early on.
So, play out from sandbags, it's not mollied out, the wide face comes out. Easy 2-man spread out from Bolts.
The contact towards mid as well has always gone in the favor of SK. It's been so well played. You can see the communication there. They rely on each other very effectively. They play it smart and consistently they get the success. Sean, though, bypasses towards A, does get out, finds the kill on Fur. Shazam also holding for a counterplay like this from Fallen. They're actually bringing it back into a very, very useful scenario. 2 versus 2. The bomb is down. Was that dropped towards mid, though? Wasn't it held on the player that actually pushed through?
Yeah, I believe it was. I think it's underneath boost.
Oh, this makes things a little bit more awkward, Snods.
I mean, they can try boost up Shazam. Go for the face towards connector. Go for the face towards highway. They can smoke out connector. Maybe even try smoke out the cross of the bomb and then try bob and weave out of the smoke to claim it. But you can see they have boosted up the orb. They're trying to find this next frag onto Fallen towards mid and then see if they can run and rush towards one of the sites. But actually for SK, they're going to hedge their bets by giving up control of the bomb and stacking the sites 1-1.
Okay, they take the map control. They've been given the leeway. They've been given a lifeline. They go out towards mid. Sean grabs the bomb. Shazam's there as well. In terms of utility, it's just the molly, and they are pushing up towards this A site. So far, they do have a clean slate. They have been allowed to actually push through, but they need to find that kill on towards Taco. If we get the entry on Taco, then there can be a lot of potential in the round. They're going to Molotov through, try and work into the site now. Taco's still alive. They haven't detected him. Gets the first frag, is able to stay alive. This is where it all falls to Shazam. Lands the shot. 16 seconds. More than enough time to plant the bomb and fall back into a better position. It's a 1v1. Cold running over. He also has an AWP of his own. He can try and switch out to a rifle. There is one on his way towards the site, but currently, it all falls to the battle of the AWPs.
1 versus 1. Shazam. Maybe expecting a fake flash been thrown out from Cold Zero as Cold Zero holds for the cross back from the site, and here it comes.
Oh, he tries to peek back round. Shazam, barely with the timing, spots him out. Cold now exchanges the AWP for an M4, but he loses his head in the meantime. Shazam will take him down. Misfits are able to double their rounds as they now get 2.
And now going forward for Misfits. Only one player surviving, so their money isn't going to be the strongest. As once they go for the reinvestment across the board, their money will be whittled down to very, very low. You can see 1.8k there for Sick and 1.5k there for Shazam, who survived and dropped over an AK. For SK right now, the goal, the key to victory here really is to try and claim this round, deny Misfits an ability to chain rounds together so they cannot build money going forward.
Oh.
Then again, Sean Gares with a play like that, it's not going to be looking good for the Brazilians.
That was lovely as well. I want to see more of that. We've seen actually quite a lot of that coming out from Sean, funnily enough, in the previous games they've played. He's been playing very confident, very aggressive CS. He's been looking absolutely fantastic, really, throughout the tournament so far.
Yeah, and in one of the interviews as well with HLTV, he said that he changed his role towards more of a lurk style. That's where he's comfortable. And right now, he can really see as the comfort is settling in with these extra frags his team is finding.
Yeah, it's definitely been coming back to help his teammates out. As we do go for the all-out aggression, the burst play out towards the site. Bolts with the initial kill. Fallen looking for more. Fur jumps down and just tries to run away with it. Fallen, he's allowed to peek in. Shazam will trade it back with his AWP. But this is where they're left at a bit of a stalemate. There's no real effective chance of them pushing out. Oh, they're getting the tags off, though, as they have been able to extend through. They get out of main. Fallen goes for the wide peek on towards Shazam, and it's all on Sean. A 1v3. The spray from Cold is more than enough to remove him, and that is going to be SK coming back in swiftly.
I mean, you can see the understanding behind why Sean's called for that sort of play. Sean Gares finds the first frag towards B main. 5 versus 4 instantly. He's expecting a 2-2 setup or a 2-1-2 setup, sorry, a 2-1-1 setup, sorry. One player towards A, one player towards highway, and then 2 towards B, as obviously a player died there, so they have to restack the site after conceding that first player towards B main. The problem is, though, a team like SK, they're not going to be startled or shaken by that sort of play. When they go down a man advantage with experience on that roster, they're not going to panic and over-rotate when they don't need to. They leave one player B, they stack 3 on towards the A site, and they walk right to the helm of the SK players.
Now into this round as well, because the reset has come through. Obviously, you can see that reflected in terms of their buy. Quite a big investment into the upgraded pistols, though. A few deagles in play. Nearly a deco, as we see 3 of them coming out. Can they find anything interesting with this, though?
Potentially. You can see Sick as well leading the Galil. Shazam does take the first contact with the Deagle, and it all comes down to the headshots, but look at SK swarming this B-bomb site.
They've been allowed in, though. They've been given free entry. The kills are going in there, Fasher. All manner of frags coming through as Amanek takes down Fallen. Bolts swiftly comes in from behind. He has bomb control, knows their location, expands out as he removes Sick as well. It's a 2v2. The health advantage and the weaponry advantage is in favor of SK, but Devidivek finds an AWP to work with, Snod. Maybe this could be the game changer. Shazam as well. There's a little bit of magic as he swings out of vents and eliminates Fur.
6 HP for Shazam. Devidivek with the AWP, but bolts onto 6 HP. Won't make too much of a difference if he misses the shot, which he does. And now Shazam tries to cross back towards the site with 30 seconds left. He's so low HP.
He's got the bomb, though. He's going to be able to throw it over. Devidivek can go for the plant. Bolts isn't anywhere near as a powerful position as he previously was, as now both of them are low HP, him and Shazam. He's got to deal with 2 members at once. He only knows the location of Shazam, and even then he's going to be dubious about what he's up to.
Devidivek with the sight in his domain, and the AWP as well can hold the cross towards B main.
Bolts has the push across. He gives him the opportunity to land the shot, has clear vision, lines it up, and pulls the trigger. That is another round for Misfits now as they instantly reset. We've seen this flip-flopping starting to happen once again, and finally a pause comes through.
So, Misfits now claiming that last round, still 8-3 and a 5-round deficit going forward as we head into round number 12. And they did win the round just the back of a quasi-buy with Deagles, Kevlar, 1 Galil onto Sick as they walked into the B-bomb site. We saw a heavy rotation from SK. They had aggression towards mid and towards A. They knew exactly where Misfits were going to be going towards the B bomb site. They over-rotated in a sense because they dropped out from vents. They were walking into the crosshairs of Misfits. I don't think Taco and the remainder of the players towards vent as well were ready for how close Misfits really were. Maybe they're expecting them to be setting up for an execute. As they rotated in, they may be caught off guard by the sheer speed of that play from Misfits.
I think it was the surprise. As soon as they realized that they've actually double pushed through the smoke, the flashes who came over, they were going for the fast play and actually went through the smoke so ridiculously like that. It sort of really threw a massive spanner in the works. Took a few seconds for SK to work out what exactly was going on.
Right, number 12 though. UMP for Sean Gers. These rounds have been so close, down to the wire. And it will be the boost coming out once again from Fur and Bolts, but will it be in time as the flashes come out?
Bolts is allowed to try and go for a bit of a crazy play if he wants to. You can see they're debating if they should. The flashbang goes through. They can push in the smoke, try and gain main control for that CT side. Instead, they just hold, though.
You can see as well, Fallen, who was towards mid, gets smoked and flashed off the angles, falls back towards default. And what this means is an B split right now via vents would be detrimental for SK, as you can see. Cold Zero the AWP towards vent. If he misses that first shot, he's isolated. He's basically a sitting duck. But now Fallen rotates in from default, rejoins the ranks towards B as he's expecting the plates to come in towards this B bomb site as Bolts pushes in towards mid. SK, they give up control towards middle and they retake map control towards A.
Going to go for the pincer play in towards B. You've got Cold Zero, also with support of Taco towards vents. Cold can peek first, gets the initial frag, is able to extinguish the Molotov as well to stay alive. Taco can be so useful because as they dive through vent, this is where he can just come into effect. Gets one, switches around, gets the second as Amanek will be the one going down, but Sick, he has other ideas in mind, wants to revolt against their CT side defense and finds 2 kills with the AK. It's a 2v3. They're so close to the CTs though, they don't even know it. Shazam spots out Fallen in somehow a moment of bliss. He's able to find the frag and it all falls on Fur and Bolts. They can push from either angle. They have no flashbangs though. They have a HE and a Molotov. He runs straight into the site and gives Sick his third frag of the round. Shazam will take his second as Bolts goes down. And they are now 4 rounds away from re-equalizing this and bringing it back into a close affair. Misfits on 4, SK on 8, but they are broken. They have no economy for this round.
You would have thought Taco did enough there. The 2 frags with the UMP. The first frag found by Cold Zero as well in towards Checkers. A 2 versus 4 from Shazam and Sick as they bring this one back and revitalize Misfits on their T-half as they are storming towards this A-bomb site. Probably going to go for a execution towards A to counter the pistols, but let's see if it pays off.
A site is completely stacked to the brim though, Snods. Everyone is there. It's popping off as everyone is going to be holding close. They sprint their way in towards main as well. Everyone is blind. They have no idea what's occurring and they have been massacred as they all go tumbling down. It's just on Sick in a 1v4.
No one playing counter flash in towards A main from Misfits. And right now, maybe the pressure is coming in to bite them as the fundamentals of Counter-Strike are going out the windows. As 4 players in A main are caught off guard by 1 flashbang. And SK have a field day as they run amok towards A main. Sick now last alive.
That was just absolutely brutal. Taco as well with a little bit of a drive-by as he lands the headshot on Sick. If you're Misfits off the back of that round,
heartbreaking. It is.
Your heads are going to be so low down.
No one's
replay as well.
Counter flash there. Crazy plays there from SK. Really, at Misfits there as they surprise Misfits to say the least with a fast play in towards A main. The flash catches all 4 players. And it will go 9-4. SK Gaming, they've won the half. They've claimed 9 rounds on their CT side. And we know SK is a team that doesn't let advantages slip away.
Rebuy comes out though. Misfits, they want to try and bite back, fight back once more and see what they can achieve. 2 CZs in commission, the MAC-10 on Davidivek, or on Shazam and AK on Sick.
Indeed, so what can they really do with this one? They can try go for a B concept play with Shazam. Once he's cleared out Checkers, cleared out B main, they can then execute towards A, smoke CT, flash in and try burst the site. With the MAC-10 as well, they could potentially go for, I could say crisscross smokes mid, but obviously there's only 1 smoke on Shazam. That'd probably be ideal. You do the crisscross smokes mid, go for a B split at the MAC-10s and the CZs get close range via vent and try to get the kills towards CT Checkers where Cold Zero is. Then obviously have the rifles and AWP going towards B main. Where you can see this isn't looking too stellar here for Misfits, as it will be a desperation buy for them going forward. If they lose this one, it's double digits for the Brazilians going forward, and a very strong half already from SK.
Slowly, ever getting closer. Taco in the elevated angle is forced to dive off immediately as they now explode into the site, trying to get up close and personal and overpower everyone that is there. There is a response, though, as SK can find these initial frags. Sean with the CZ gets a nice little kill off. Amanek as well. The spray down on Fallen. No AWP kills coming in. That's no Overwatch now. They've lost their support from Fallen, and it's forced in the hands of Fur and Bolts to work together. Fur has so much utility here. He's got a flash, a HE, a smoke, and a Molotov. Bolts has the only kit that is left on a living member of the side of SK, though. It's still going to be a hard-fought fight. Misfits have time before they have to commit to the bomb plant as well, as they just lie in wait, ready for the push to come towards them.
2 versus 3. This frag is vital by Fur. SK want a chance into the retake. Shazam misses the second shot, goes for it for a third time, lands it. Sean Gares will finish the job towards CT. 9-5 as we head into the final round of the first half. It is round number 15. And it seems like Misfits are so good on these weaker buys where they just crawl in towards B, they win the early Angels, they get the advantages going in their favour, and in the retakes and the afterplants as well, they seem to be coming up strong.
It appears as well, those sort of rounds where they do play it a little bit slower, where they realise they're on a weaker buy, and they sort of know their opponent is a lot stronger, that's where they play a little bit more smarter CS. We saw obviously just going for the early A main attack when you knew you've just reset SK. It was quite risky, and they came back to actually bite the bullet for that.
And with enough the pass into the present, you can see Cold Zero jumps putting towards Highway, spots out Shazam towards mid, doesn't want to go for the reface there, doesn't want to run the risk of potentially being killed while jump spotting. We'll go back towards CT instead, as they're going to have to try and gamble the stack. The push comes in towards A main. Fur has complete control towards A. So for SK, the information they've garnered so far all leads towards a B site hit. But instead for Misfits, they're playing the slow game. They're trying to work the clock. There's still a minute 10 left on the clock, so they can just slow the pace down, clear out A main again, clear out door, flash into it hopefully. Otherwise Fur could run amok in towards A main.
Fur actually could cause so much havoc. If he wanted to try and go for this extension out, especially as Fallen gets contact, that's when this really could switch this round up immediately. Fallen going to go in anyway. Fallen gets the first, then the trade comes back in. Luckily, Fur has been removed. Shazam spot him out, took him down with his scoped play, and now they've got site control. The CTs need to regroup and recalibrate.
Man advantage now for Misfits. AWP onto Shazam. Bomb planted for, I believe that was default remaining. Couldn't quite see actually as it was shifted, but nevertheless, though, Amanek going to be denying the rotation coming in via door from Taco. Cold Zero now challenging out Devadevek. We know how strong he is with that CZ as we will find that frag, but unfortunately, Sick finds his frag onto the site, leaving us Cold Zero last alive. No kit, and no real hope in his dreams to try and claim this round.
Yeah, at that point, it kind of was all on Bolts to actually do the unthinkable and give them the potential to win the round. Now time is ticking away way too rapidly. He doesn't have the kit. He might still be finding the frags, though, as he re-entries towards the site and finds the quick headshot on Amanek. 2 more to go, but Shazam will take him down. A 9-6 scoreline is what we have been served up as Misfits try to defy SK Gaming and topple them for that first place in the group. Can they do it? Find out after the break. SK versus Misfits. Misfits looking like they started to get a little bit reinvigorated towards the end of the game there. Can they continue it now as we switch halves? They're now over on that CT side, Snods.
Pete coming in early on for Shazam, going for the information. Actually spots out the bomb as well. But unfortunately for him, gets his head taken off by bolts.
Living up to his name, as that was quite an electric play as he just snipes down Shazam there. Gets the early entry, continues on as well as Fur will find the follow-up. That's Sick down and out, and they've got site control in just a mere matter of seconds into the game.
Bomb planted for A-Man as well, a 5 versus 3. They do have a kit, but no smoke to try and shroud the defuse or flashes to try and allow and give advantage for a retake for Misfits, especially now as Gares goes down towards Forklift. 5 versus 2 is not looking too good here for the North Americans.
Amanek trying to bring it back if he can, but coldzera is swiftly in the rear. It's just how he likes it as he finds that headshot on towards Amanek. There goes Davidovec as well, and that is going to be SK with the opening pistol. Considering they ended the half with a lead as well, not really the way you'd want it to go if you are a Misfits fan.
Yeah, looking at that scoreline as well. Double digits now for SK, 10-6, 4-round advantage. The problem going forward as well, you can see the force spike going to be coming in from Misfits as so far just, I believe, I'm not sure if it's a GoTV bug, but it will be 3 players investing into this one into Kevlar. I'm actually buying the shotgun, but I'm not sure if that's GoTV again, but we'll see, as it might be 3 or 4. But what that means is going into the first bar on Jack, they're going to be lacking the Molotovs, the flashbangs to maybe try and deny early mid-control from SK, to try and deny the early rushes or fast contact plays with these SMGs if SK want to try and bring this forward into the first buy round. And again, if they concede versus this round, if they concede this round as well with the force buy, it goes 11-6, then on to an eco, 12-6 could be the scoreline we witness later on. And with a 6-round advantage, SK, they're not the type of team that gives away that sort of lead.
No, not at all. Kramanek as well, that HG's going to transfer a fair bit of damage towards him. Obviously just playing anti-flash currently towards B, so his teammates can support him if they do go for this B play. Instead, as it was always aligned to be, SK have been scoping out towards A. They found they can actually trickle in and slowly begin to win this round as the bomb will go down. Fur continues their lead in terms of the battle of attrition as he finds the follow-up headshot on towards Shazam, and this is where bolts come into full effect. Everyone is swarming towards him. Davidovec instead using his sidearm to find that frag. But there we have it anyway. He will go down off the back of coldzera's kill with the Mat 10. Additional cash, even more being wired to the bank accounts of SK. It's now an 11-6 scoreline.
Misfits going for the stack towards the B-bomb site. In that scenario there, SK, if they go towards the A site, in theory, you're thinking, okay, you can have A, we're going to save our weaponry, save the Kevlar pistols, save the Mag 7 into the next round. Unfortunately, with bolts lurking towards Sunroom, they denied or faulted any plans of trying to save the weaponry they invested into in the Force. And now it just means the full eco is just going to be a battle towards A main.
Push coming out thick and fast appears to be the call as soon as they get ready for this. They have tons of utility as well, so they can try and smoke it out. Instead, there's a response from Misfits. Amanek charges in to try and upset them a little bit, but more and more frags go in their favor. The SMGs in close range combat are just way too strong as everyone is blown out of the water. A fast round as SK find that and get all 3 off the back of the pistol. Here's the reinvestment though, the true first buy coming out for Misfits.
Very clean rounds as well from SK. 4 or 5 staying alive into those rounds, which means their money has built up to fairly substantially. $6,000 for Fallen, $8,000 there for coldzera, $2,000 for Bolts, but obviously has to drop over and reinvest into the AK. So into round number 19, SK Gaming bringing forward the Mac 10, bringing forward the UMP into this round, and this is what I meant about the rush into the first SMG buy round. There's no Molotov to deny this.
Oh, Davidovec is there to try and deny it, though, Snods. He wants to be the man that is the single-handed uprising. Sick as well, roaming through, finds coldzera. More so, this is looking stacked towards the side of Misfits, but there's Fur to change things up. Finds the kill on Amanek. Sean Gare's up close and personal, though, has found that kill. He's on the site. If he can find success and get the defuse off the back of the kit, he can win the round right here, right now. There was no chance for Fur to push in. He might take down Shazam, but you've lost the round.
And there you have it, 12-7. Misfits winning the first bar of the second half. But only 1 player surviving, which means only 1 player can be dropped, and that being Shazam. He can still drop over a FAMAS, though. Instead, we'll invest into utilities. That leaves Davidovec with the question of, do you invest into a UMP and utility, or do you invest into M4 and Kevlar? And look at that. Only going to be Shazam and Sean Gares with utility going forward. They do have 2 defuse kits and 2 Molotovs to try and work with. And here comes the push towards B. Bolts goes for the face, and the flashbang as well gets the first.
Oh, heavy aggression, Snods. They all want to push through with a tactical unit, but instead, It's the people that are just watching angles. Cold Zero and co. being able to snipe them down as they slowly got closer and closer into that T-side map control. He can now loop back round as well, grab the bomb, focus up towards the A site as they've extended out. They've realized there's no CTs there defending it, and they can take it as their own domain. Oh, Shazam with the Molotov will send Taco off to the Burns ward. First come through, though, as he finds the headshot, and it is all left on Davidovek's shoulders.
Diffuse kits dropped. Has to try and reclaim them if he wants a chance into this one. A 1 versus 3. SK Gaming still have utility to dish out, so they can continuously smoke out front side, smoke out towards a main, or molly the bomb twice, flash over and delay Davidovek. Near impossible round. You can see actually Colter ready for the Molotov towards highway if he wanted to delay the push for a further 6 seconds. But it will go 13-7 now as Misfits have their money reset. And I want to see a pause come out here, Jack. Something where they can try and recalibrate themselves, rethink about what they can change on their CT side, because SK Gaming are rolling over them.
They are indeed. They've got their number. They know how to counter them. It seems efficient for the side of SK. Smart plays, very, very thick and fast as well. When they know they have the opportunity to go for a play, they're doing it fast now. Misfits are just being overwhelmed because of this. They're not being given any of that time they need to actually think and counter it.
So, Misfits going to take the risk here, go for the force buy. They basically have to. Only 1,400 for Davidovek, 1,700 to Sean Gares. Sick as well onto low money. They will invest into the Mag 7, 2 CZs, and M4 for Davidovek, and a scout for Shazam. The problem is, Jack, Davidovek investing into the smoke double flashbang doesn't buy the defuse kit, so SK Gaming, if they get the bomb down, a retake with these weapons is hard enough, but a retake with these weapons, adding on the fact there's no defuse kit, makes it double as difficult.
Yeah, that additional time requirement that you add onto the round just makes it so much harder. Double entry towards mid as they try and push through. Amanek with the Mag 7 trying to hammer up and actually find those frags, but is unsuccessful. Not being successful though, Cold Zero. He makes it 2, adds the third on the end as Shazam tries to try and take him down. Fur through mid as well, eliminates Davidovek. It's just left on Sean, the IGL, as he's trapped in a 1v5. Bolts is hot on his tail as well. He sniffed him out. They know his location.
This game may be as good as done, Jack. Misfits, they go for the full force buy across the board. They risk it all instead of going for the save and maybe trying to have a better buy into round number 22. They buy into round number 21 with the money they had left. And now it was what? An eco, I guess? Allow SK to get to match point 15-7. The problem is, though, are they really going to be winning 8 rounds of the Trot versus SK to force OT? Doesn't seem likely.
No. Not at this point. I think everyone's just way too ready on the side of SK. They just look alert, consistent impact frags coming out. We're seeing just too much individual damage being served up. They're firing from all cylinders right now.
They are indeed. 14-7. Going to be the eco coming out from Misfits. SK Gaming is holding it across the board, holding across the map, see if there's any aggression coming out from Misfits. We've already seen they try to go for the stacks toward a flashbangs in towards a main as well. But instead, they still hold. 1:30 left on the clock, and once again, Fur with the aggression towards mid. He's managed to worm his way up towards highway, gets the information that A may be clear. This may send SK right back towards spawn, in towards the A bomb site. Or they're walking into the B stack that is of Misfits.
If they do fall into the trap, then maybe Misfits can actually upset here and find success in the round. Obviously, those pistols are going to be quite useful in close range proximity. SK, though, not running any risks. Obviously, they're going to be leaving the bomb behind. So if we do see the push from Cold through vent, as he currently does his best Bruce Willis impression, he currently knows what a TV dinner feels like, Snods, as he just waits, trying to see if anyone is going to push towards him.
Fur made his way all around the A site, in towards CT. And Bolts and Fur can just pinch and basically clasp them together, as it will be 15 at match point now for SK.
Yeah, at this point, it's basically just aim practice as well. The bomb's down on A, and they're just hunting through. They know they want match point. They want match point in a very, very upsetting style. They want to leave Misfits broken and bloody on the ground with no confidence left in them for what could be the final round here. If SK are able to kick this one up, they will find victory and go through with a 4-1 scoreline, 4-1 actually history in the group.
They will indeed, mate. First seed as well. That would mean semi-finals for SK Gaming. They will be joining, I believe, in this phase. Yes, it is. So FaZe and SK Gaming, if they win this one, obviously they have 8 chances to claim this one in regulation. It will be FaZe and SK making it to the semi-finals. Nevertheless, though, Misfits have done an incredible job so far of making it to playoffs and upsetting those teams when you look at the likes of North and NIP and whatnot. Anyway, with the buy round, already the first frag found by Cold Zero. Sick of the fast refrag towards mid as he still puts the foot down and finds the second frag. And it's going to be the man advantage for Misfits on their CT side. As SK lurked towards the A portion of the map as they may be finding an empty bomb site.
Oh, if Fallen was actually killed by Sick there, that's where there could have been issues in the round, but he was ready for it. You can see the response coming back through, hammers down the trigger with the AWP, removes everyone that could actually try and gain control in the round. It's just left on Sean and Amanek pushing back through. This duo needs to play absolutely godly CS to stop SK from winning this round and taking the win here. Taco will come through, remove Sean. It's all on Amanek. A 1v3 to play with, hiding in the smoke, terrified, quaking in his boots as Fallen looks for him, lands the shot. 16-7 is the scoreline. SK guarantee themselves the first seed in the group. They know they are now going straight into that semi-final versus phase. For Misfits, though, it's got to be said, amazing run there in that group. They looked fabulous.
Oh, of course, of course. I mean, when you look at who else is in the group as well, definitely, people weren't expecting that. People thought it was going to be NRG, Misfits getting completely stomped, and there was a fight for that top 3 position between the likes of, NIP, North, and of course SK Gaming. But the North American teams have really shown up at this event and surprised everyone.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, NRG as well, they've been doing damage. Obviously, both were these two teams that when we fought, we looked at the group, we were like, okay, Group B, it's a little bit more clean-cut about who really should be placing where.
I mean, look, when you looked at Group A, you thought, okay, Fnatic, FaZe, Astralis, Liquid of the stand-ins, maybe Hellraisers can try and go for the upset. And they did manage to pull it off. And then into Group B, we thought, okay, it's going to be SK, it's going to be NIP, it's going to be North. Obviously, Optic at the last LAN event. Oakland, 5th to 6th, I believe, as well. Didn't make it to the major qualifier. Misfits and NRG, we haven't seen them on LAN in so long, apart from the American Minor and, of course, By Power Masters. So how are they going to fare versus the European competition, the caliber of teams they have in their group? And so far, they've definitely impressed.
And this was something as well. If you didn't witness during the live game, a bit of an interesting round.
It was pretty much the end as well for the mental fortitude of Misfits. But then again, going forward, they're going to be very happy with their performance here as they have qualified for the quarterfinals.
Yeah, nevertheless, it's still a 3-2 history when you look at it on paper. Obviously, 3 wins and 2 losses there. So more so than anything, I think it does sort of come to show that obviously that style of CS that Sean still likes to bring to the table does work if you're given enough time to actually anti-strat those teams and then not have enough demos to look at from what you've been doing and know how you're going to play it. You can still play that very one-off style of CS, call from spawn, and try and play that sort of very strategical heavy style.
That's the thing there, right? For a team like SK or some of these other teams as well who've been very active on LAN. North, not so much. They've had the Blast Pro Series, but apart from that, the tournament before that was Epicenter. But when you look at NIP, obviously former Oakland champions, SK Gaming, Blast Series champions coming into this group, they're hot and heavy, they're ready for this sort of tournament. And then for the likes of NRG and Misfits, as you said, the sample size in terms of their reviews isn't really there. In terms of confidence as well from North, in that game yesterday versus NRG and Misfits as well that we casted and we saw, you can tell North thought, okay, there's no chance we can lose to these NA teams. We'll stomp them. No preparation. Overconfidence was definitely the bane of their existence.
Well, you saw a lot of that. It was reflected in the playstyle they went for because it was almost as if they went into sort of about 50% effort. Were trying weird faces now and then. And they were just being ripped apart. And when it gets to the point where they realize it's a little bit too late now, they just were out of the water. It was already too far gone.
Yeah, it was indeed. So we thought Misfits, okay, you've had that one upset versus North. How much more can you really do? They have the win. NRG as well have the win versus NIP, 16-14. And the stars really aligned for the North American teams. I'd like to see as one of the mainstream. I'm not quite sure what the result was, but if it is going to be the likes of an NRG or an NIP that makes it out of the group as well, or will it be, just Misfits being the upset team here?
It was actually the win for Optic. They've been able to overcome on that.
Ooh, how does that shape things up? I'm not quite too sure, obviously. We haven't really been looking at the tables. We've been focused on the second stream. But it's going to be interesting in terms of the storylines. And there's going to be a lot of fans rooting for Misfits in that quarterfinal.
I think we are just getting that prepared as well so we can actually take a look at sort of the final standings, really, and have a look at how things have come through. Yeah, so it'll be pretty good once that is ready. We can work out where exactly things have started to fall into place towards Group B. Because as we said, more so paper, we thought Group A was going to be absolutely stacked and have all manner of ridiculous upsets coming through. Instead, Group B has been the dark horse.
Yeah, it's been the whole shenanigans with Device being ill, Rabina being brought in, obviously Steel being the only IGL for Liquid, can't play, and Zeus has to try fill in the role. So you've got Liquid and Astralis. Astralis definitely one of the favourites for that group, with quite a tarnish to themselves as they can't really field their full roster, and because of that, it does shape up the what if Device was there? What if?
Yeah.
Of course, Steel was there. But going forward, you've got to be feel happy for Hellraisers. They had the upset, and especially after the first loss they had versus Luminosity, you thought, okay, it's all really over. It's all going to come down to what we expected with the primary teams making it forward, and then for Group B, it just keeps delivering.
That's the thing. We did actually, on day one, we assumed Hellraisers would be stealing a spot in that first group and actually come out. But after the weird loss against Luminosity, they ended up going to 4 overtimes. That's
3. It was about to be 4. It's 1
yeah.
round away from 4, I think. Something ridiculous like that.
That's when we sort of thought, okay, maybe not then. Maybe this is, Luminosity are coming in quite hard and fast. Luminosity as well, another team that actually had a fairly impressive run, considering what you're used to seeing them from on LAN. Definitely bodes well for them going into Cancun.
Yeah, Luminosity dominated Liquid as well. It was one of the last matchups of the day yesterday. So for Luminosity, as you just said there, basically, use this LAN to gain experience going into ECS finals in Cancun. Try and use the wealth of experience you've gathered from this event to try and make it out of the groups and upset there. Yeah,
that's true. So maybe that's something that can actually help out the other Brazilian side we did witness in the tournament as things develop onward. Still waiting to show you those standing guys. We can have a look through and actually really get into it with how the final points will be coming out. But SK do find their victory there.
Yep.
Obviously being able to win out on Cash. A double bill of SK, so always lovely to see. And Cash actually looking very strong from there. Both of the American teams falling short. More so that was interesting is that NRG actually seemed to have much of a better understanding of how to counter SK on Cash.
Yeah, but then again, how much weight can you put into the resets because there's so many anti-ecos coming out from SK. We also saw the force by win for the likes of NRG that reset the money for SK and everything basically went in favor of NRG. I've actually seen the demos recently of SK. I think it was SK versus Astralis back in the Blast Pro Series of the finals, the final matchup. There is a lot that SK didn't even need to bring out. Okay. Crazy A-main takes, weird boosts, weird plays that they can still bring out later on to the playoffs. So what that really tells me, Jack, is they weren't tested, they weren't worried, and there's still a lot to show going forward.
So obviously playing quite calm, collected.
Oh, they knew they'd won. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the experience, the caliber players, and just the confidence they have, especially after the win from Blast Pro Series.
Yeah, so maybe potentially, as we develop on, obviously, SK, now guaranteeing that first seed. That is going to be one of the semi-finals, obviously, them versus FaZe.
So does that mean it's Optic? I mean, we are about to wait, but I'm trying to speculate right now. Does that mean it's going to be Misfits, Optic, and then SK? The NRG lost, which means Misfits are on 9, SK on 12, and then obviously Optic would be on 9 as well. So
you know what? Let's take a peek. Let's have a look at the table and see how things have started to fall into place. So the puzzle pieces come together, Snods, and we get a nice picture of some Counter-Strike.
That's what we hope for. And indeed it is. Oh, Misfits and Optic, actually, the seeds aren't too favorable for the side of Misfits. Obviously, the head-to-head matchup really coming back to bite them. And with that, it will be NRG. Unfortunately, the Cinderella story ends with the loss versus Optic. NIP 1-3, the upset loss versus NRG, the upset loss versus Misfits as well. And for North, heartbreaking loss as they wanted to play in front of their home crowd. But yeah, SK, Optic, and Misfits, and actually it's all the NA organizations and the NA teams going forward. Obviously, SK being German, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, we are currently seeing North at least be beating NIP currently. There's 12-9 on that scoreline, but obviously that game doesn't really mean too much in the way it's going to shape things up. An interesting point,
it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, both on 1, so the max they can get 6, and obviously to qualify you need 9.
There is actually going to be no Danish teams making it to the live stage.
Well, there you go.
There you have it. Both Astralis and North going to be knocked out. None of that representation. I think actually the only player we're going to be seeing that is from Denmark will be Magis on the side of Optic.
And
so you have it.
They're going to have all the fans rooting for him.
Single-handedly, Optic will have the biggest fan base there, as everyone will want to see Magis trying to deal some damage. It's interesting, though, that it's come down like this, obviously, for both of those two teams. A major shake-up coming through. We didn't really get to see Liquid's true potential with the new addition of Steel because of this as well.
Of the coaching rules, of course. Astralis, obviously, Device being ill. And you can see they're 1 win away versus actually qualifying. So again, if Device was there to Rubino and they had the full roster, questions and answers that won't be concluded with. And unfortunately, for Astralis, it's a fairly weak end to the year going forward.
Yeah. So, as we move on through, before we actually finally do break down those last couple of matches, as we are going to get that bracket ready to show you who is going to be facing off each other, we can look into those matchups and let's try to work it out. It is interesting, though, because obviously we do now have those semi-finals sort of on the cards. So one with Optic, I'm intrigued about.
Well, they got the second seed, so I believe they're going to have to go versus Fnatic, I believe. I'm not quite too sure. I believe it's FaZe NRG, FaZe Misfits, and then it would be SK Fnatic, I imagine. So for Misfits, not really the best draw you're hoping for. But again, that's a speculation, I believe.
Yeah, if that is how it shapes up, though, it's obviously going to be quite hard. But then for Misfits as well, they should actually be feeling quite confident about their playstyle so far. They've proven they can do a fair bit of damage against these teams already throughout the groups. Going into that in that playoff sort of bracket, that's where they just need to really have a clean head, continue on that sort of play style. I imagine there's going to be tons more of anti-strat potential as well behind Sean. So let's actually have a look at that as well. See those brackets and see if we are correct in what we were believing.
So it is going to be Misfits versus Hellraisers, actually. Wow. So Optic against Fnatic. Definitely not the luck of the draw. Look at the bracket play as well. They've then got to fight versus FaZe in the semi-finals. And then for Misfits, they've got to topple the likes of Hellraise, and the Hellraisers or Misfits fight up against SK in the semi-finals for a spot in the finals. And if you're Misfits as well, you're going to be happy with that draw. The reason being is, yes, you've just lost in this final matchup today when you're fighting for seeding. You weren't fighting for your tournament life, so maybe the motivation wasn't quite there. They were still very happy and relaxed with the wins they had versus NIP. But you want to have that domestic matchup when you think that SK are obviously residents of North America. They would have practiced heavily, and you want to have that more of a comfort match instead of fighting up against the likes of FaZe.
More for me as well, Snods. I feel like for a team like Misfits, they're very, very good at actually taking on other teams. Very structure-heavy, oriented-based teams. You know how FaZe can be quite audacious at times. If they feel like, you can see quite a heavy mixed-style mid-round level of CS coming out for them because they know they have so many players that have so much talent. The hero rounds can definitely come through, and it can be a little bit harder to break that down. So I feel like them going up against SK for a second time, where they have a little bit of a break now to actually go back, look at the mistakes that were made. Maybe that's where they can set themselves up. But bypassing Hellraisers is going to be by no means an easy feat. Throughout the tournament, Hellraisers, another team that have looked fantastic, namely for me as well. I've been so impressed by Angel's form this event.
Yeah, it really has been the event for the IGLs. Sean Gare stepping up. Obviously, Daps had a stellar performance from LRG.
Yep.
The SK matchup as well. Angel has been so strong so far, and yeah, for Hellraise as well, it is the best of 3, so you have the wider map pool. Then again, it falls back to consistency. It's not really the best of 1 where, depending on pistol rounds, what really happens if the underdogs win both pistols, there's definitely the upset potential there. Over the course of a best of 3, there's far more sample size to base off of.
Well, that is going to be everything wrapped up, obviously, over on the second stream. But that does not mean the tournament is over. If you guys are only just joining in, do not fret. Obviously, you can catch the VODs over on the YouTube channel, but you can catch all the live action that is still going to be coming up from the arena live in Denmark. There is more to come through and through. So keep it locked. Keep up to date on everything that is going down. You will not want to miss these games. But from me and from Snods, that is going to be everything. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you next time.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, NVIDIA GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Tinderbox, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.